It's Y2K, and we survived. Barely. So did Florida State.
Second down and 3, and Vic straight back going deep. He's got his man open. He's got Davis. Got him. Touchdown.
And I'm still bitter about that one. It's going on year 3, and we can't get rid of that damn baby. Coding is cool, even if we're not all meant to be HTML wizards. But some people are getting rich making web pages full of junk. Mission Impossible 2 tops the box office, and Tom Cruise says it's his last one.
You gotta be kidding.
Santana got together with that Matchbox 20 dude and recorded a song that spent how many weeks at the top of the Billboard charts? Sammy Sosa wins the home run derby.
I mean, how about 129 home runs in 2 years?
Chris, that's unbelievable.
Speaking of unbelievable, Alex. Goodbye! Upper deck!
And takes us
Back
to a time when ESPN was the only game in town. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Retro Pop Planet. And can you believe it? Football is back. It's my favorite sport, my favorite time of the year, and I can't wait to go down to Washington, D.C. to the ESPN zone and celebrate.
Hey,
what?
it's gone.
What do you mean it's gone?
It's gone.
Huh?
It's gone.
God!
The first ESPN zone opened in Baltimore, Maryland on July 11th, 1998. It was an idea conceived in 1992 by then Disney theme park executive Art Levitt. The idea was to provide an all-around ESPN experience for fans of the Sports Entertainment Network and would include replica studios, sports viewing areas, a game room, and a restaurant. In 1996, Disney purchased Capital Cities ABC, and ESPN was a key part of that purchase. Several years prior, Levitt had left Disney to run Hard Rock Cafe, but was brought back by Disney CEO Michael Eisner to bring his original concept for a sports-themed restaurant into fruition. Originally called ESPN Grill when first announced, it was renamed to ESPN Zone before the opening of that first location in the power plant section of Baltimore's Inner Harbor. The Chicago location opened in July of 1999, and after that, there were planned openings in major cities around the US every 3 months. In a June 1999 press release, the Washington, D.C. location was announced for a slated March 2000 opening date. The 41,000 square foot facility was to be located at 12th and F Streets in downtown Washington and would be the 5th ESPN zone to open in the US. Art Levitt, now president of Disney Regional Entertainment, stated that opening in Washington is a significant step for ESPN Zone. We will be able to attract sports fans from all over the world to cheer for their teams and have some great food. The plan was for a 3-floor facility and designed to distinguish the 3 individual yet integrated components. The Studio Grill, which recreated the electric atmosphere of the ESPN studios. It featured replicas of the Sports Center, NFL Countdown, and NBA Tonight sets. Patrons were treated to great American grill food with a decided flair, including entrees like cedar plank salmon, grilled chops, or a New York strip. Also, individuals would be able to view their favorite games on one of the many television monitors situated throughout the grill. The screening room, which would be the ultimate place to watch an array of televised sporting events from around the world. This section offered state-of-the-art technology, multi-game viewing, direct audio control for all televised games, stat updates by the minute, and specialized sport features centered around a 16-foot screen and a dozen 36-inch video monitors with tiered seating. In addition, the screening room would feature individual skyboxes for private dining, custom zone throne viewing stations, and remote broadcasting capabilities. And the sports arena, challenging fans with a variety of interactive and competitive attractions. The sports arena would feature several proprietary games developed exclusively for ESPN Zone. Over 200 fans could compete simultaneously in this high-energy area of the complex. My brother's a huge sports fan, and I think he actually beat me to this restaurant. My mom worked like 2 blocks away at the time, and then when I graduated college, I started working at that same office on 14th Street, and this was an easy walking distance. It was the typical ESPN Zone. I remember you come in off that corner and you walk in, and it had the the double stairwell that had ESPN Zone. I think it was supposed to simulate the lobby of their studios in Connecticut. But you would have like a news desk, then you'd have ticker LCD boards everywhere, giving you different score updates. There were game rooms. This location had a couple separate rooms. I guess you could have like a party there. So I went there for the first time, probably when they opened, after my brother had gone there. We met up to watch some sports. I specifically remember the appetizers. I believe we got the nachos, or maybe like one of those sampler platters with the ribs and the chicken. Now, the last time I remember going to the ESPN Zone was sometime in like 2003 or 2004, and we took one of my former coworkers out right after he got laid off. We did like a little happy hour for him to send him on his way. And that was pretty much the last time I went there. This specific location, I completely forgot about, because honestly, there are other sports bars closer to me, and this was a bit of a haul to go downtown for some basic restaurant food. And again, we weren't always watching sports there, so it kind of blew the opportunity to go down there. This, of course, is in the tourist district, the theater district of Washington. It was around a lot of offices, so I think ESPN thought that this would have been a great location. This location did close in 2010.
Disney shuttered the first two locations in 2009, Denver and Atlanta, citing the tough economic environment. By June of 2010, all but two were closed, including Baltimore and Washington, D.C. The last remaining ESPN zones were in California, and the final Disneyland-based restaurant closed in 2018. There are several YouTubers that recorded its final days in operation. In 2011, there was a public auction held in Washington for arcade games, kitchen supplies, and more. What makes it extra creepy is that the auction was held on site of the old restaurant, and from the photos, it looks as if the inside had been completely gutted. Facing financial hardship of our own, my former company downsized from our offices on 14th Street across the Potomac to Virginia in 2006. That's part of the reason why I never went back to this ESPN Zone location. Now I wish I had. And here's a Google Street View image of the building today. This mug gave me the idea for this video. I found it while thrifting a while back, and it's from the Baltimore location. I never went into that restaurant because I remember the line being wrapped around the block. I had friends that owned boats in the early 2000s, and we'd pull up into the Inner Harbor and people watch. And if you're here just for the food, I'm sorry to keep you waiting as I was reminiscing, but I found the exact recipes they use for a number of their popular meal items from a 2008 news article. I remember ordering and liking the ribs, so that's what we're featuring here today. The original menu description reads, baby back ribs. I'm not even kidding. A full slab, slow roasted and basted with barbecue sauce, served with French fries.
Awesome, baby!
Again, I wish I were kidding. The price was $19.99, and I hate to tell you, but you weren't getting a full rack of ribs. Disney reworked the menu to include chicken, and they bumped the price up into the mid $20 range.
Now, if you've seen my Planet Hollywood video, this location was maybe 2 blocks from that Planet Hollywood, and they were both open simultaneously, competing for the same type of attention, tourists and business people.
We're going to start with the marinade. The full recipe is below, so don't worry about writing anything down. We're mixing oil, red wine vinegar, minced jalapeños, chopped cilantro and parsley, chopped garlic, kosher salt, chili powder, and I made a mistake and added my barbecue sauce in the beginning, but I think my way came out more restaurant-like. Speaking of barbecue sauce, in one of those YouTube videos, someone mentions the barbecue tastes like bullseye. I can believe it, so that's what I'm using. Mix up the marinade really well and adjust to your liking. I'm surprised there isn't any black pepper involved, but it's outstanding nonetheless. Now to prepare our ribs, here's a full rack. There's a lot of moisture on these, so I'm toweling off the excess. If you're new to this discontinued food series, these aren't going to be competition ribs. We're just trying to duplicate how ESPN Zone did them in their actual restaurant kitchens. Normally, if I were to smoke these, I would remove the membrane, but I've noticed that most restaurants don't bother, so neither am I. They'll still turn out fine. The marinade we made is enough to cover 2 full racks, but because it's just me, I'm only making 1 rack, which I cut in half because a lot of the photos I found online including an old early 2000s menu photo, shows only a plated half rack of ribs. Pour half of the marinade over the ribs and turn over to coat the other side. You'll then want to refrigerate at least 4 hours before cooking. You're also supposed to refrigerate the rest of the marinade for basting, which I never actually end up doing, and you'll see why a little later on. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees or 176 Celsius. Place marinated ribs onto a sheet of aluminum foil that is 1.5 times the length of the ribs. Place the ribs in the center of the foil and fold over to create a seal around those ribs. Cook for approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. They're temping out around 176, and they're still not cooked all the way, but they already smell amazing, and the meat is pulling back from the bone. The next step is entirely based on your home grill setup. I have a little Ninja wood fire, but the restaurant would have had an indoor range top. Place on grill, baste, cover, and cook for 5 minutes per side. Instead of using the leftover marinade, I'm basting with barbecue sauce, because it'll look and taste more authentic to ESPN Zone. And spoiler, hell yeah it does. Most fast casual restaurants use frozen bagged fries, so that's what I'm doing also. These Alexia house cut fries look the part, and normally I would air fry them, but I pop them into the already warm oven. Are you ready to be served?
Hey, it's showtime!
Okay guys, welcome back. So I've had these warming, so they are like ripping hot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try one of these on camera. Yeah, they're super tender, like fall off the bone tender. Yeah, they're perfectly fine, and they do taste like restaurant quality ribs. It's kind of funny. I'm using Alexia fries, which do actually taste like what you would get in a restaurant. I wish they were a little bit crispier. I actually had to put them in the oven because my air fryer was occupied with the ribs. I don't know if I would use that method again. That marinade though is killer. That would be awesome on jerky. So yeah, those ribs would be perfectly fine if you were hanging out, you had a pitcher of beer with your friends, and you were just watching games. It was a restaurant that was cool for kids. It was very, very, very similar to like Dave & Buster's. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Please leave it a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have really strong memories from ESPN Zone. I'd love to hear them. I love when you guys share your memories here on the channel. And if you're interested in discontinued foods and defunct restaurants, I have an entire playlist here on my channel. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Anyway, guys, have a good one. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.